Hello, Virgo. Almost forgot what sign I was doing next, but it's you, Virgo. It's your turn. All right. Cancer season. You're already like, oh my God, it's almost my season. And I'm just like, slow down. Cancer season is really stopping me in my tracks every reading. It is a wild ride out here right now for everybody. And I totally understand if you feel like you're just coming out of something and then you may be anticipating this month. You may not even understand why you're anticipating this month, for those of you who may not be as in tune to astrology, but you might not even understand. You might just be feeling it. Mainly because you've kind of just come out of this mental break, mental block that was probably something somewhat emotional as well, and yet we're going into the season where it's time to feel again. And you could take cover, or you can lean into it and support yourself during it. You can have some fun. You can ride it, see what happens. That's also an option, Virgo. That's also why I felt like I needed to stand. So actually, we'll start there. While the cards are very discerning this month, and maybe the discernment of Cancer has trickled onto you, I feel way more comfortable in my zone, in my home, where we are, and it makes me want to move around a little bit more. I've done a few readings in different places, and I haven't done that really in a while. Usually I stick to one place. And it's funny because how does that relate to Cancer? Well, when they feel so comfortable within their intimate setting or their relationships or their creativity, they will roam. They will roam through that and feel through it all and see what else they can explore and uncover about the space they're already in. That's why they tend to have long-lasting relationships for the most part. A few years ago, a lot of changes most likely happened in their life, especially internally. If you have met or know someone with, or if you have some, if you are someone with major Cancer placements, this month is about planning for stability. There's something really important about creating some type of plan of stability for you in your life right now. It's actually going to help you come out of this mental funk if you were in one. It's a part of actually the process, and it's something I talk about is like, you can think and you can speak and you can visualize things, and it's true, but it's until you take a line to action that things really begin to meet up. And you can make them fun. They don't have to be too crazy, but it's also going to help uncover something that has been long stuck within you, possibly in the foundations of how you grew up, your foundation, on why it's been hard for you to plan or set that foundation or set in stone certain things in your life, is because of maybe how rocky it has been or how much you've had to take on emotionally. And now, even if you're not taking on so much of those emotional burdens, whether it's, finding ways to cope with it or release it, depending on how you philosophize with life, or it's about like physically not having to, there's maybe someone in your life that has left, or maybe an unfortunate grievance that has happened where you, as much as you feel more free, there's still this feeling that you're moving through, maybe grief to some sort, depending on how they interacted with your life. And this can be for more so Virgo risings or Virgo moon. Virgo moons are calculating these things a little bit differently. Virgo risings, you may be feeling this and feeling like you're moving through something that has long been on your to-do list, but as we always learn in Cancer season, we don't really get to decide when certain things happen and when it's time for something to be more prominent in our lives. It starts to move slowly into our lives until it's like there. It's almost like And I hate to equate it to this, but like on the negative end, it's an addiction. But then there's something that you're really interested in, that you really love, and that you really want to move towards. It's really important to. 4 of Wands to 4 of Cups. Venus just moved into Gemini as I'm doing this. It'll be days after when I put this out. So by this time, you will find probably very literal solutions to these questions that you've had going on within you. It's an opportunity to check yourself. You have 5 and 5. To check yourself mentally. It's a great time to just check in with yourself, to be honest with you. If you haven't gotten alone time, it might be a good time to spend some time alone, but also be very comfortable with maneuvering maybe a little bit more in the Venus and Gemini way, where you're not constantly around people that you have maybe history with. You might find yourself in more wanting to be a little bit more in casual conversations or casual environments at this time, because actually it's going to be helpful for whatever solutions or situations you actually need to problem solve in. Finding that fresh energy, having some fresh air could be very helpful, because whatever has gotten you focusing too much solely on one thing, and we talk about this sometimes, it's taking you out of your own element, which is weird, because usually thought can be an element or analyzing, but really you're in the very much an understanding phase, a more experiential phase, where most of signs have been, the advice has been more internal, and for you, go outside, play, that's like what I'm telling you to do. But it's because it's between the situation that has been maybe long stuck within you, maybe for 5 years or so now. It's possible that your focus is not so much on physically what is appearing, it's more so how it connects to your worth, your sense of timing, and your sense of direction, and how you've learned from the situation. It doesn't matter when you've learned it. It doesn't matter if this is a similar thing that's happening again and you're finding another cycle, and how this one thing is within every part of your life for the most part. It trickles down. It's very Cancer season, connecting everything. And it's bringing this awareness into your life that towards the end of the month, you find that you will have an opportunity to change, to maybe do something more bold, put that 2 of Wands and that 4 of Wands into action, not just philosophize, but try it out. Try something new. Something new might just fall into your lap too, a new idea, something you just want to work on, a creative aspiration, and you dive into it. You're able to, Mars goes into Taurus by the 5th of July, but it's in Aries for now, and until the 5th, you may find yourself very connected to the part of you that needs some kind of boundary or discipline. It's this creative venture is going to boost your ego and self-esteem in a way where you need it to let go of whatever's I honestly feel like this is just whatever is happening is trying to hold on to you, and it's almost like the thing that's like coming at your feet, and then you it'd be like if this dog was more like coming at your feet and annoying you at your feet. Instead, it's showing you it's like, okay, enough is enough, pretty much. Like, enough is enough in terms of your life and how you want to address the situation. It's a time to be comfortable in yourself enough to be open to new experiences, because they want to enter your life. And if you find yourself repeating some old experiences, you might need to take a look and address of where you're not letting yourself move forward, not choosing that road. It doesn't matter if it's harder or easier. If you're a Virgo that thinks things need to be hard, then let things be easy. And if you're a Virgo that always takes the easy way out, because there are some of you, it's time to be more disciplined in an area of your life, especially if you want more, if you're looking for more expansion, if you're looking for a new direction. I do ultimately think this is about your philosophy in life and how you choose to go about your day-to-day, and how that in turn reflects how you go about moving forward externally. You may be wanting to be very vocal about this, especially by the end of the month, and it's advised that you... Sorry, I had to fix something. Okay. So basically by the end of the month, you're going to become an even more stern version of yourself. And this sense of freedom within your expression finds structure. You find that through this month you realize something, and by the end of the month you become very vocal about it, whether it's to do with the establishing needs or boundaries that support where you're going, that support this philosophy, that support the freedom that you desire, that you really want, to allow for this newness to begin with a breath of fresh air. You may feel really inclined to be vocal about it with some people in your life, but also you find this stability and independence, especially if you're someone who does like to be, or if you're a Virgo that does like to be around people. There are, again, Virgos have many oppositions, so some people see them as loners, and you may be, and this may be time to do that. But then for some of you, it's like you're extroverted but being alone, like you, again, going out alone, doing things on your own. Not that you don't, but you find it more enjoyable. You actually attract certain people to you. You might also attract things like or run into certain things and certain personalities that you don't necessarily like, but you are speaking up and you are feeling more more enjoyment in the day-to-day. Aww, it's my kitty being loud and vocal. It's time to be loud and vocal. So you're aware of what's coming up. It's about the way that you need to plan forward to make sure that you feel secure in ways that are important to you. Kitty. You may feel like you need a lot more time to let go and be free of situations from the past, situations that have kept you stuck. You realize what has kept you, even if it's just one foot out, one foot in the past, or a part of you in the past, and then the rest of you is moving forward. You really cut that loose during this time while Mars is in Aries. You really are able to follow through more than anything else. And this Aries energy, if there's an Aries in your life, we'll get more into that into the second part, which will be in a link below. All information to work with me one-on-one is below. So things are changing, so there's a little bit of a transition, and this is that period. So you'll get other options as well, but you, or something is coming up that came up a couple months ago back in April, where it was just a thought, and now you're thinking about it and making it something real in your mind and in your life. You're putting more energy into these thoughts, or into this philosophy, or into this certain way of life, into this certain decision to do something different to set yourself free from. You can create a plan and a foundation, but there's still that in-between area that you need to color yourself, that you can only do through experience. So now that you've set yourself forward with the plan and you've gone through the inner turmoil throughout the middle of the month, the end of the month is about experiencing it and then coming into Leo season very sure, very clear, because you don't want to have weird attachments and not be able to be honest come Leo season. You want to be able to be honest with yourself and with the people around you in a way that doesn't need, that isn't going to put you in a position where you feel guilty or you feel bad. It's just what really needs to be said, and you're kind of really down to business by the end of the month. So towards the end of the month, you get into that moment and you find that vibe, and then it inspires you to get down to business by the end of the month in a way that you haven't in a while, in a way that where something is calling for you. I have to feed my kitty. Something is calling for you. A part of you needs to be fed. And this month you find what that is, and it's probably been something that you've been maybe even searching for without even knowing for a while. All right, Virgo, enjoy that. Enjoy the surprise, the emotions, and everything that you really need for yourself this month. Enjoy maybe nurturing yourself and a little bit more, finding time to enjoy what you have, and then be inspired to take action and be upfront, be clear, and be real. All right, Virgo? Second part will be coming up next, and we'll see you next month.